All right. Today we're talking about how to build content systems to actually achieve your goals. Dude, it's such a beautiful day. The first thing I think is really important to talk about when talking about building content systems to achieve your goals is first getting clarity on what your goals are with content. Talking about just having a clear understanding as to why you want to create content in the first place and what you want to achieve with said content. Because a lot of people start content and the reason it doesn't go anywhere is because they don't have any clarity. And if you just look at other businesses or other people who've done things well, one of the commonalities is they all have clarity in their messaging, which is why they can create groups or communities that back them so much. So if you want to create, which is what we're doing with content, right? We're creating communities of people who are subscribed to us. So if we want to do that, we have to have clarity in our messaging. And one way to do that is, it's super interesting. I like to think about it like, I've been out of shape and I've been trying to get more shape, and I like to think about it like working out. I look at like powerlifting, and then like those guys are animals. But then you look at like other people who are trying to do more bodybuilding. I feel like it's the same thing with content, right? If you want to become a powerlifter or a bodybuilder, there are two different workout plans, two different nutrition plans, but yet there are similarities between the two. And I think at least what's worked for me with content is understanding that if you want to only generate revenue or you want to generate a community of subscribers and get a lot of views, that there's going to be different strategies with those two things. There will be similarities for sure, but there's going to be differences too. So getting extremely clear on what that is. Wait, what kind of cuisine are you in the mood for? Do you want to check out the Korean barbecue place?
Oh, yeah, let's try.
All right, cool. So I think that one of the ways that have worked for me extraordinarily well with getting clarity on content is asking myself 4 questions to come up with 4 pillars. Because if you have pillars within your content, or that you can always rely on, you always know what you're going to talk about, what you can educate on, what you can help on, what you could build a community around. So the first question that I just asked myself that worked really well was what do most people come to me about for advice? And when I answer that, it's YouTube, strategy, monetization, growth, that kind of thing. So that's my pillar 1, YouTube. The second one is, what could I talk about all day without getting bored? And for me, that's just like business and entrepreneurship, strategy, systems, that kind of stuff. And then the third one is basically the third question is what could you talk about all day without getting bored that has nothing to do with the first 2 questions? So for me, it's like self-development, my training, training for a marathon, running, that kind of thing. And that's basically my third pillar. And then fourth is if you weren't getting paid to do something, what would that thing be that you would like to incorporate more into your content or your business? And for me, that's design, like thumbnail design, editing, design theory, that kind of thing, like style, aesthetic. So now I have my 4 pillars, right? Things that I'm going to talk about: YouTube growth, business entrepreneurship, self-development, and then I have aesthetic and design. And if you have those 4 pillars, they become your foundational talking points for anytime you need anything to talk about within content. And this is what's literally I've gone back to every single time I need to create some sort of piece of content, and it's worked really well for me. So, it's literally what's helped me generate over 500,000 views between my 2 channels. Yeah. To help visualize what I have in mind. Because if I just say it, it's not going to come across as well as I want to do. They don't have any really big pieces of paper or notepads. What we saw from that dude.
How much was that?
I think it came out to $18 for this and the marker. That's expensive is that expensive for a notepad and marker?
Yeah.
Yeah. once you get your 4 pillars down with content, I think the next best thing, before even getting into the whole idea of creating content systems, one aspect of doing that is making sure you understand the different content archetypes, which is basically just fancy wording for the different formats of content that you could do. So I highly recommend testing this. There's no better way to figure out which format of content is best for you versus actually just testing all of them. So just think to yourself, out of your 4 pillars, what's the best way for you to convey those talking points, right? Is it through vlogs? Is it through sitting down at your desk and talking to camera? Is it through high quality kind of scripted out content? There's many different types of content archetypes or formats that you can shoot, that you can really shoot. And you want to figure out which one is going to be best for you and the direction of content you want to go to. And this, there's a lot of synergy between this point and the point that we talked about where we're talking about basically having a lot of clarity with our content, right? So we want to really find this balance between what's the best content type that we can do and what's that helps us convey what we're talking about in the best way possible, right? That's most engaging for people that you care about the most. This is what's worked for me, and this is what Bernardo and I have been really dialing in recently as well. And once you get your 4 pillars down, the next step is to figure out what content type you want to start shooting in. Maybe this isn't the perfect cafe to have a coffee here and have a really European look to get both B-roll and also film the next point. Tell me this isn't the perfect cafe. There's like nobody here, dude. So the next thing that's worked really well for me, and just also a lot of the people who I've consulted with to help them grow their YouTubes, is systems. It's something that I think a lot of people look over, and it's also something that can be extremely advanced or extremely simple, or made in the most simplistic form possible. But just one of the ways that I've created a system, just for my own mental kind of framework or systemized brain, but also when you start hiring, this becomes so important. And like, here's just an example of what I mean by this. Let me just clip this on here. Like, right here is a system, a production system. So like, you want to write down your whole process. I like to use things like Figma for this a lot, where I like to create mind maps of it. But it's like, you have your idea. Most people would say, oh, I have an idea. Then it goes into production or filming. Then it goes into like editing or creating, and then distribution or publishing. But I want you to take it a step further. I want you not only for your own mental kind of, not only for yourself to go through mentally as you create content as almost like a checklist, but also when you start to hire later down the road, this will become so important to have. Like when I started hiring, this was so crucial for me to have in place, not just this one, but like several different systems within the business. But in terms of content, this is what I would start with. Write down ideation, right? And then it's like, okay, what goes into that? Well, you need to research, and then maybe you need to put the ideas you come up with in a Google Doc or Notion document or something, and then you want to validate that idea, maybe with a third-party person, maybe it's your wife or your spouse or your sister or brother, whatever, and say, hey, do you think this is a good idea, right? Then we go into production. And then it's like, okay, let's double check that the batteries are recorded. You basically write down your entire process, and then you have filming. And then you go to the next stage of production, which is creating. Maybe you upload the files and send it to an editor, or maybe you're editing it yourself. You want to design the thumbnail or send it off to the thumbnail designer. You want to make sure that you have all your title concepts ready. And then for this, it's like distribution. Now it's, okay, we don't just publish. We're going to publish. We're going to set the split tests. Then once the split tests are set, we're going to want to distribute this to probably different formats, right? Our newsletter, great. Now this transcript gets published to an optimized written newsletter, a LinkedIn post. It gets turned into shorts, right? And you want to build out this whole system with content. When you do this, a few things will happen. One, you'll become extremely efficient with content because it begins to work almost like a factory line, like you see when you go into a factory distributing something. Second is it helps you mentally because now you have a checklist of things and you never miss anything, so all your content's optimized. Thirdly is when you hire, the people will instantly be integrated into your system of things. But fourth, it helps you almost become like a little bit more omnipresent with content, because now we have a system set in place where we can mind map out how we're going to distribute our content to other places. Like for me, one really powerful source of revenue has been my newsletter. We have like almost, I think, 10,000 people or more on there by now. And we have a system inside of Figma built where we go into the exact distribution system from our YouTube video and how we turn that into multiple like newsletter posts, right? So I can confidently say it all starts from having systems dialed in and in place. And again, this goes in line with what we talked about earlier, which is having clarity. This will just help you have a lot more clarity when creating content, because one thing that happens when you create content is it can feel messy and it can feel unpredictable. And this will help with that. So create systems. It'll help like crazy. That's what I recommend. It's what's worked for me. All right, now the next and probably most important part about trying to build content systems that allow you to reach your goal is understanding ideation. This is where I feel like most people get hung up on this part, but it's really simple. I have an exercise that you can do that literally helps you come up with ideas like in a systemized way. But first, I'll just share with you the most popular way. Honestly, the method that has allowed me to create the viral videos that I have created that went viral. And it's through something that I've talked about on my channel before. It's called the outlier theory. Essentially, what it is where you reverse engineer what's already done well. But I guess what would make more sense is explaining to you what an outlier is for those of you who don't know. So let's say that you post a video and it gets, 20 views. Let's say you post another video and it gets 17 views. And let's say the next day you post a video and it gets 1 million views. That video is considered an outlier. It's any video that has performed exponentially better than anything else on your channel. So what our job to do when coming up with ideas or when researching is to find those outliers. And there's a lot of tools that we can use, like vidIQ as a free Chrome extension, that we can use to find these outliers. And ideally, I try to find an outlier that is about 20x better than any video. So as I'm scrolling through YouTube's homepage, when I see a video that has a score of 20x, meaning it performed 20 times better than anything else on that person's channel, I'll write that video idea down. And then let's say that I'm looking in the productivity niche. I'll give you guys an example. Let's say I come across a video that says, how to become so productive it feels illegal. 6 steps. Well, if I see that, let's say it has a 100x outlier score, it means this is great. It means it performed 100 times better than anything else on their channel. This is an idea that has been proven to work. Let me just take this idea and make it applicable to my niche. So if I talk about YouTube growth, I'm going to take this video idea in the productivity space and I'm going to say, great, how can I make this applicable to my niche? Well, I could say how to grow so fast on YouTube it feels illegal. 6 proven steps. Now I have a video idea that has been proven to work. Somebody else tested it for me in a different niche, and I'm taking it from a different niche, and I'm allowed to steal like an artist. I'm stealing like an artist. I'm not copying, because I'm taking it from a different niche, and I'm just making it applicable to my niche. So I'm one of the first people to be creating that video idea in my niche. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have created that video idea in my niche, but this is how the outlier theory works. And this is one of the most important things to understand, because this right here, well, dude, there's a jellyfish. Oh my gosh, there's a jellyfish right there. That's pretty cool. Anyways, this right here will literally help you come up with the best ideas that you can that are the most optimized for growth. And this is the video that I have that's generated 500,000 views, the video that I have that's generated over 300,000 views and 200,000 views, all these different videos. I did it all through this outlier theory, this way of researching. Let's go see what it's about. Dude, this is awesome though. This is why I love this kind of content. You have we're in Lisbon, Portugal, okay? I've lived here for 8 years, and I've been creating content for years as well. And only now are we starting to get out of the office and create content. But 99% of my time in the office, we have this as it's like a set. People dream to film in this location. This is awesome. Yeah, it's good for me to think like that. The last and final thing that I want to talk to you guys about in this video to creating content systems, and honestly probably the one that will be the most valuable outside of ideation, is using AI to create optimized content. So a problem that we often face or see with content is so many people are just using these tools that just cut out like parts of your long form video, and then they use AI the wrong way. They're using it this way, and what's happening is they're just throwing out more noise into the ecosystem or world of content because it's unoptimized content. So how can we take one long form YouTube video? How can we have one input and have 10 outputs? Like one long form YouTube video to a bunch of optimized content. And that is where this system comes in handy so well. So this is a system that I've implemented in my content that's worked so well for me. And basically I have one YouTube video and I use an AI called Poppy AI. I'll put a link for them in the description below if you guys want to check it out. But it's an AI software where you can train specific groups or like brains inside of it on LinkedIn, on email marketing. You can train it on Facebook posts, you name it, right? So the way I've done this is I have one YouTube video, and from that one YouTube video, it gets turned into it doesn't just get cut up into posts, it gets turned into optimized content. So this one YouTube video, we take the transcript, and this transcript gets turned into an optimized newsletter, 2 newsletters, right? Then it gets this YouTube video long form gets turned into 3 different LinkedIn posts through carousels, through an image, and through written. And then it gets turned into 3 different Facebook posts, the same as LinkedIn, and then 2 Instagram short form posts, because we take this transcript and basically we use Poppy AI that's trained on viral short form scripts to write a viral short form script, and it takes 3 extra minutes to film it, right? And then those 2 shorts now go onto TikTok, go onto YouTube Shorts, they go onto LinkedIn Shorts and Facebook Shorts. And throughout this system using Poppy.ai, basically what we've been able to do is we've been able to turn one optimized YouTube video into 20 plus pieces of optimized content. And this is how I've been able to grow so fast on these platforms. But really, like my newsletter and on YouTube and all of this, it's been having really strong systems in place like this one I'm showing you. So yeah, this was really the last thing I wanted to show you guys that I think would just be of immense value for you when it comes to creating these content systems that helps you reach your goals. Most of your guys' goals are probably to grow a bigger audience, to grow a community, and probably to, make money doing it. So, hope this helped.
I was walking off camera saying if that would have bad a villain, whatever, I don't know. I was trying to be cool.
All right. Sweet. Let's roll.